We'd like to get the Public Works and Protection meeting on its way tonight on July 9th, 2024. Roll call,
Gary
please.
Paul,
Here.
Jay Krieger,
Here.
Kelly Service,
Here.
John Burnett,
Here.
and Joanne Newton.
Here.
Pledge of allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Action on the minutes, June 4th, 2024.
Do the agenda first.
Pardon? Oh, the agenda. Action on the agenda. Any corrections or additions?
Move to approve.
Second.
To approve. Okay, now on to action on the minutes. Consider, discuss, act on June 4th, 2024. Any additions or corrections that you noticed?
Move to approve.
Second.
Got a first and second on the June 4th. Number 6, comment from the public must be limited to items not on the agenda. Must state name and address. Limited to 5 minutes. Board rules to listen and not discuss the item. Personal issues cannot be discussed or individual names. Board is not able to take action at this meeting. And we do not have any public here this evening. Okay, moving on to written communication and announcements. None?
That should have been taken off.
I was going to say, that was a new one. All right, action on consent agenda, which we, okay, action on, action items. Action A, consider, discuss, act on appeal of denial operator's license for Ashley R. Josephson.
Patrick.
You got the
Sure.
mic, Patrick? Okay.
Sure. Ms. Josephson applied for an operator's license and was denied by admin staff according to our policy. Ms. Josephson does have 3 alcohol-related driving convictions. There's an OWI in 2005, and then the same year, there was a felony driving or causing great bodily harm while intoxicated. So there's a felony on that. So by our policy, that automatically disqualifies Ms. Josephson internally from getting the operator's license. So, and then in 2014, there was another OWI conviction on that. So according to our policy, with 2 OWIs and then 1 driving while intoxicated causing great bodily harm, that one being a felony, does automatically disqualify Ms. Josephson. And she's here for the appeal today to request an operator's license. So before the committee tonight, what could be presented is shown some kind of rehabilitation on Ms. Josephson's behalf, other kind of mitigating circumstances, any kind of letters of recommendation, counseling, work history, any recent activity since then. But again, it's up to the committee's discretion. Any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
A question, Patrick. When you have a felony, is that an automatic denial period?
It is, provided that it substantially relates to the licensing activity. With this one being alcohol-related, causing great bodily harm, it does automatically disqualify.
Okay, okay. Okay, any questions up here? If not, go ahead.
I think we'll open the floor to
Yes,
let her
let's open
speak.
the floor and let the young lady speak.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
First and second, open the floor, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Would you like to come up and state your name and address for the records, please? Pull the microphone for you so we can hear you.
My name is Ashley Josephson. My address is 1646 Cormier Road.
Okay, explain your situation.
I would like to have the opportunity to have my liquor license. I do understand that I've had quite a few DUIs. However, I have made immense changes in my life and have worked towards bettering it. I have held my liquor license in 2 different counties before with no violations. Yeah, I don't.
Anybody have any questions? Okay, anything else you'd like to add?
No.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay. Somebody want to make a motion to close the floor?
Move to close the floor.
Second.
First and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried, to close the floor. Okay, what do we want to do?
We've set up these rules based on past history, things like that. And we really try to hold strict to those rules. We do have an appeal process like you're going through right now. But for the most part, those rules are set, and that's based on recommendations of public safety, their experiences, the like. So in this particular case, I would just be saying that we're going to uphold a denial. I make that motion.
Make a motion for denial? Okay, we got a first.
Second.
First and a second. All in favor of the denial?
For any further discussion, Gary?
Pardon?
See if anybody else has any more comments.
Any more comments? No, everybody looked kind of blank. Okay, first and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Now, you'll be able to come back with the village board meeting on the, what do we got here, the 23rd? 23rd of this month to come in front of the board, and you can appeal it at that meeting also. So we just refer to the board.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Action item B, consider discuss act on a premise extension for Blazing Wings doing business as Buffalo Wild Wings of Green Bay Packer Game Day. Press your names here.
So Buffalo Wild Wings would like to request an extension of their Class B liquor license to include the parking lot adjacent to their building at 2101 South Oneida Street, Suite 101 for Packer Game Days. They're planning on using bike racks to enclose the area. And they did list the dates that they want in the attachment. And they said they would have somebody here or online, but I don't see that, so, yeah. Oh, and I did talk to the chief, and he's fine with it,
He is fine with it.
yes.
That was the question I was gonna ask too.
Because I'm a little concerned, what about their neighbors? I mean, because it's really blocking them off, because Oneida Street, we know what Oneida Street is like before a Packer game. Have they talked with their neighbors? Because they're blocking off another entrance to get in to their, to the other businesses there. I don't,
Well, I don't see them blocking an entrance. The one off of Morse is open and the one on Oneida is open.
But they
But
can't-
I'm looking at it from another angle of being safe on that particular corner, especially if you need to get an emergency vehicle around that building.
but I don't see how they can get to like Cold Stone. Because if you go around the back of the building, there's only an alleyway
Correct.
to get to
Right,
the
so if you
front of the
come in
building.
off Morris, you can't turn right and get through all those people to get to Jimmy John's and whoever else over there.
And Cold Stone.
And just so you're aware that the landlord is giving them a letter of approval to do this also.
Also, it looks like, are those little squares in that red area, the handicap parking?
I talked to the chief about that, and he said that those can be moved.
Oh,
The handicap parking can be moved to a different part of the parking lot.
We've done a lot of these before, but this one I kind of question this one.
I mean, I don't object to what they're trying to do, but I'd really like some more assurances that the other Jimmy John's and Cold Stone and all them are aware of it and are in favor of it, and it's okay, and, just to be good neighbors and that. I'd like to get that confirmation before we would make a decision.
I'd like to see the bike racks. I mean, if they're the little bike racks I'm thinking of, you can step over them. Like, how safe is that gonna be?
Yeah, I think the bike racks would have to be that, they're called bike racks because they kind of look like kind of that old school bike rack, but they're usually 3.5, 4 feet in height. So you could jump over them theoretically, but you
Okay.
shouldn't be able to just, unless you're
And I think
7.5 feet tall, you won't step over them.
Okay.
Some of them link together too,
Yeah,
if
they're
I
linked
remember
together,
seeing
right.
some of them, and I can, that's,
I was picturing the thing where you put your front tire in and it's kind of like, you know, maybe 3 feet tall.
So I don't know that we necessarily have received the letter yet from the landlord, correct?
No, she was waiting for the signature.
Okay, so I think a couple options that the committee could entertain is you could either recommend for approval or denial to the board, conditioned on the letter being received by the landlord obviously being the controlling interest of the property as far as access goes. We can certainly refer back to them, to the landlord, saying we need to have written correspondence from the other tenants that they're okay blocking access into the parking lot. I don't know what standing that necessarily would have per se, but that
Right.
would certainly be part of the recommendation. The other thing I'll note too, and I think this has come before in the past, I seem to recall this, and I believe it's been denied before, but I don't recall what the basis for denial had been either, but I do know that they've brought this forward in the past and it hasn't been approved, but I'm not sure if that was related to a public safety concern. Clearly, that's been addressed, but it had been denied previously, and some of you may recall that.
I mean, I'm not objecting to what they're doing, but I'd like to get more details around it. And if they're not here tonight to kind of fill in the blanks, I mean, I personally would just like to table this until the next Public Works meeting. And have them come,
plenty of time.
have them come
You know,
back and,
if we get the letter from the landlord, maybe even a letter from the other tenants
Yeah.
there, you know, that would
Because-
probably take care of some of the questions.
because the first game isn't until August 24th. Right,
I think
exactly.
what you could do is either deny it and, forward that denial to the board. Obviously, there's 3 members of the board here tonight on this committee, so as part of that denial, that the basis for that denial is the lack of information as it relates to that. So
And then they can
we
just
can refer that
resubmit,
back and then they can
just
resubmit.
resubmit then, Chris? Is that kind of what you would like to have them just resubmit it then?
No, it'll be denied. The recommendation still needs to go to the board with a recommendation for
Okay.
denial. Your basis for that denial is the lack of certain components of information. So
Right.
the letter from the landlord, confirmation from the tenants that they're agreeable to the closure of that access point.
Right.
And that would be your basis. And knowing that the board is going to get that, but then between now and when that board meeting is on the 23rd, hopefully we're able to secure that information from them.
Okay,
And we could provide it then to the board at that time. So that way you're not delaying another month of.
Okay.
understood. Yeah, I'll make the motion to deny it based on a lack of information tonight.
Second.
Oh, you seconded. Okay, we got a first and a second. All in favor of the denial?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried for the denial of Buffalo Wild Wings. Items for next agenda, as usual, bring it to the staff if you've got something. If there's nothing else, I would obtain a motion to, what do we got here?
Want to mention the next meeting?
Oh, the next meeting, yeah, we got a issue here with dates. It's election, August.
National Night Out.
National Night Out we got, which is on the 6th. So we're moving the meeting to the 7th,
We're hoping to.
hoping.
Yeah, if we can move it to the 7th, we unfortunately aren't able to push it a week ahead because the 13th is the partisan primary election as well. And I believe Plan Board has already kind of penciled themselves in for August 7th.
Right.
So if we piggyback the Plan Board, that would be most agreeable for everyone.
Okay, August 7th is the tentative date right now, so, okay, thanks. sir.
Gary, just real quick, there is court that night on August 7th here at 6 o'clock. So I guess
Well,
but it could be, depending on the time of this committee meeting, we could squeeze it in before.
Okay,
Not necessarily sure if it's going to be at 5:30. Yeah, sure. Or in a different room as well.
okay, what do we want to do?
Yeah, let's just,
book it then. and-
just book it then and then, yeah,
Okay, all right.
put us wherever is gonna work.
For clarification too, just as a time, obviously that time may fluctuate based on what we have for plan board agenda, but traditionally, I think this body meets normally scheduled at 6:30 PM.
Right.
So that'll be the time that we plan to meet. It may move up like we would normally if plan board gets canceled, if that's agreeable to the group. So 6:30 on August 7th.
Yeah, that works.
I don't have a problem with that, but the question I have on that, Joel, you know, tonight Plan Board got done before 6. Could we have started that meeting at 6 with the Public Works rather than sit here for a half hour?
We thought Aaron was gonna have a long-winded presentation on chapter 5 and the comp plan, but he cut it short, so
I
that's
know.
why we.
I was thinking you were going to do it. I thought, oh, God.
No, we would have been done earlier if I was doing it, but
Oh, you really? Okay,
No need for a long-winded on
all
this.
right, so stay tuned for the latest news when it comes.
But I think that dates is,
So, okay, I'll obtain a motion to adjourn unless we got something else to talk about.
So moved.
Second.
Well, we got a first and a second, all in favor.
I
Opposed, motion carried. Thank you very much.
This conference